there guys, my name's Grace. I hope you're doing well today. So this is an activity video, and this activity video is going to look at one artist in particular. Now this artist is quite famous, quite well known, but if you haven't heard of her, no worries, because we're going to learn a little bit more about her life and the paintings that she produced. Her name is Frida Kahlo. Who was Frida Kahlo as a person? Well, she was born in 1907 in Mexico, specifically in Mexico City, which is the capital of Mexico. And she lived in a house called the Blue House with her mother and her father and her brothers and her sisters. She really liked drawing as a child, but she did actually start studying medicine. When she got to 18, she was involved in a really horrible bus accident, and it damaged her body for the rest of her life. So she had difficulty moving around, and she had difficulty being comfortable generally. So she was usually in quite a lot of pain. When she was laying in her bed, recovering from her injury, she started to paint. And her mother got her a special easel that she could use in bed to paint while she laid there. And quickly, painting became the great passion of her life. She's sometimes called the original selfie artist because she's most famous for all of her different self-portraits. Here's something that Frida said about her painting. She said, "I paint my own reality. The only thing I know is that I paint because I need to, and I paint whatever passes through my head without any other consideration." So when Frida was painting, she wasn't really thinking about what other people would think of her work. She was just trying to show the world inside herself through her art. And obviously that art was a lot about the pain she was in and her suffering, but it was always about the place that she was from, Mexico, and some of the people in her life and the objects that surrounded her in Mexico. She was always very interested in painting natural objects, so different things from nature, and we see that quite a lot in many of her paintings. In her life, she painted 143 paintings in total, and I think about 55 of those were self-portraits. I want to show you one of the famous self-portraits that Frida did, and I have it just here, handily, because this is a painting that I keep in my house. So you can see Frida right in the middle there. That's what she looked like. You'll probably notice her eyebrows. She's very famous for having a unibrow, which is where, you've got a little bit of hair in the middle here, so it means that your eyebrows are joined together a little bit. Frida really believed that people shouldn't have to alter the way that they looked to make others happy. So she was really open in the way that she dressed and the way that she decided to style herself. So she was really pro body hair, and she would sometimes wear suits, she would sometimes dress as a man, and she just believed that it was another way of showing who she truly was. So let's have a look at this painting in a bit more detail. This painting is called Self-Portrait with Thorn Necklace and a Hummingbird. So we can see the hummingbird here around her neck, and then this, I think, is the thorn necklace. So this is coming down her shoulders and down her body. In the background, we can see a lush jungle full of leaves, and then to each side of her, on her shoulders, we've got two animals. We've got a little monkey just here, and then over the other side, we have a panther, a big cat. You might be wondering, Grace, what do those things mean though? Why has she decided to put them in the picture? Well, we could just think, oh, she may be somebody who really likes monkeys, she really likes hummingbirds, she really likes panthers and jungles, but usually Frida's pictures had a deeper meaning, and she used something called symbolism quite a lot. Now, if that isn't something that you've heard of before, what symbolism really means is just using one thing to represent something else. So it's kind of like the way that a red rose we might think represents love, or we might think that the colour black maybe symbolises death. Frida's picked all of these things because they have a symbolic meaning. So in Mexico, the hummingbird is a symbol of good luck. So she's wearing that symbol of good luck around her neck. But if we look at what the panther is doing, we can see that he's looking at the hummingbird in kind of quite a hungry way. So we might think that maybe Frida's good luck is about to go away. The symbolism here could mean that, but also, as with all art, it's open to interpretation. It's open to you, the viewer, to decide what you think it means. And that's kind of the beauty of it as well. So we're now going to have a go at creating our own artwork inspired by this painting. If you want to do this activity, there are a few things that you're going to need. You need a pencil, a piece of paper, the bigger the better. I've got some A4 here, but if you've got a piece even bigger than A4, great. You are going to need a mirror. If you don't have a mirror, if you can use a photo of yourself, or you could even get somebody to take a picture of you on a phone or an iPad or something like that, just so that you can look at your own face. You can see I've got some flowers here. They look quite nice in the mirror, actually. A little bit later, it would be good if you had something that you could use to colour in the work we're going to make. So it could be colouring pencils, it could be some felt tips, it could be paints. Obviously, if you're using paints, you're going to also need a brush. You're going to need a glass with some water, and make sure you put down some newspaper or a protective cover just so that you don't make a real big mess. Try and cover up your clothes too if you can. I'm really bad at doing that, so I'm just reminding you. You might also want a rubber for mistakes, because we all make mistakes. I certainly do. So if you don't like something, just change it if you want to. If not, just leave it. The first step to the activity is getting your paper and getting your pencil and looking in the mirror, or looking at that picture you have of yourself, whether that's a digital one or not, and you're going to try and sketch your face as accurately as you can. I mean, obviously, it's really just about trying it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Of course it doesn't. We're all just practicing and learning. So I usually start by drawing the shape of the face, and then I go from there. It doesn't really matter what order you do it in, but generally starting with the shape of the face for me is important, that you can decide what feels best for you. Just try and get your portrait of yourself right in the center. Okay, so I've started doing the shape of the face and the hair. That's my first bit. I'm just keeping my pencil nice and light on the page and going over things a few times. I like to do that, but obviously it's just however you like to draw. Keep on checking back in with your mirror or with your picture, just to make sure that you're getting everything in the right place. When you get to your eyebrows, just like Frida, try and do them as accurately as you can. So even if you've got hair in the middle, make sure you include it. Okay, so I'm happy enough with that, and I'm going to go over it a little bit in a darker colour. So if you have a pen at this point, or one of your colouring pencils, the black one, just to make those lines a bit stronger. I've just put a jumper on because I was very cold. We're now going to move on from our portrait and think about the other elements of our Frida Kahlo inspired picture. So we're going to think about symbolic objects, which basically just means an object that has a deeper meaning for you. And you might already have some idea of what that might be, but if you want a little bit of help, then we can think about it together. So around Frida's neck, she had that hummingbird, and that for her was a sign of luck. It meant good luck. So I've decided I'm going to have something lucky around my neck as well. I've always thought of cats as lucky. Lots of people do. But also, I used to really, really, really like cats when I was a kid. So they kind of have a deeper meaning for me in that as well. So I've decided I'm going to write down cats. The next thing I'm going to put in my picture is something which represents somebody else in my life. So somebody in my life that I care for a lot really loves butterflies. So I'm also going to include some different types of butterflies in my picture. And then finally, I want to use some images to represent the place I'm from. So I'm going to think about all of my favourite natural objects in Yorkshire, and that would probably be flowers and trees, things that I see when I'm walking, and that kind of symbolises the place I'm from for me. I've had a go at drawing my different symbolic objects. I just went for a cat's tail in the end, so I'm wearing that as kind of a necklace, my trees and my flowers and my butterflies. And now we just get to colour in. So that's my favourite bit, using lots of bright colours. Alright guys, so I finished filling in my Frida Kahlo inspired self-portrait with colour. I'm just going to show you what mine looks like. I decided to go for some blue around the edges. There are the butterflies in some different colours. I chose very bright, vibrant shades. And yeah, kind of looks like a cat's tail. I picked a ginger cat. As I said earlier, I mean, I really don't think you should try and be perfect when you're making art, because it's more about the doing than the final product. But nevertheless, I'm pretty happy with that. And I hope that you are happy with your artwork too, if you have taken part in this activity. So that's all from me for this particular activity. I hope that you've had fun doing it and exploring yourself, your image, and the things that are important to you a little bit. If you'd like to do 2 more Frida Kahlo inspired activities, then you should be able to find those posted right after this one. All right, so perhaps I'll see you again. Okay, bye for now.